Bonjour, viewer. Today is my fourth day in Hawaii. And it's also my last night on Oahu. Tomorrow, the Elon group is going to fly to Hilo on the Big Island of Hawaii. And we're going to stay there for some amount of time. I'm not sure right now. So I'll just talk about what I did today. This morning, the Elon group all went to University of Hawaii at Manoa, I think that's what it's called. We had a lecture by Jamaica Osorio, who is PhD student at UH Manoa, and she also has had some pretty high publicity slam poetry and toppings and whatever. I know she did some slam poetry thing at the White House when she met with President Obama or something like that. You can try searching her name if you want to know more about it, I guess. She has a brother that was on The Voice at some point, but I don't follow it, so I don't know much about that. The TV show The Voice. So she talked about, I think it was pretty much just gender roles in Hawaiian culture. She said that there were definitely separation between men and women roles in Hawaiian culture, but women are portrayed as a lot stronger than they are in Western culture. Like in Western culture, men are just like the epitome of everything. They are always stronger and they know what's right, but Hawaiians think that men and women are pretty equal, I guess, or more equal than Western cultures. She told us about that's loud. I don't know if you can still hear me, so I'll wait for it to pass. Yeah, there's another plane flying over. Oh god, this is not. Oh hey, there's stars. Yep, this is fun. Go away, tractor. Okay, that seems sufficiently quiet. So Jamaica told us about a story in Hawaiian mythology. It was about Pele, who is the volcano goddess of Hawaii, and this other guy who she was sleeping with or something, and I forget most of it, but it had something with generals. And I just got a notification. Okay, I don't know what that is. So it was about gender roles and just what I was saying earlier. After she was done talking, her dad, I don't know his name, he talked to us about the disappearance of Hawaiian identity, I guess, since the American overthrow of the Hawaiian government in the 1890s. He grew up raised like an American, whereas his parents and grandparents were brought up to be Hawaiians. So he talked about how he would do things like hiking in the mountains around here, and he'd come across these abandoned towns or homes or something, and he'd realize that they were old Hawaiian dwellings, and he knew that there was some kind of importance to what he was seeing, but he didn't know exactly why, because he wasn't taught anything really about Hawaiian culture. He said his grandparents didn't always tell him exactly what he asked them for. I don't remember any specific examples, but I just remember it being that, or I just remember thinking that that was one of the big causes of the culture being lost if grandparents can't teach newer generations about cultures and stuff. That's bad. And he was also a musician, I guess, in the 1970s. So he played us some songs he wrote during his lecture. Again, they were about the loss of Hawaiian identity. And I think that's all I talked about. After he was done, we went outside the room with the lectures and we went to a taro garden, which was about 100 feet from that building we were just in. Taro is a vegetable which is pretty much a staple food for a lot of Southeast Asian countries and also Hawaiians. It's kind of like a potato, I guess, but it grows in the same kind of conditions that rice is grown in, which is like a semi-flooded field, and then there it's like the taro plant is, I guess, sprouting leaf on top. It's kind of big, about foot in diameter, I think. I don't know. And then the leaf sprouts from tuber or worm or something that is in the ground, which is actually what the main part of the taro plant is. But you can eat anything, or you can eat all the parts of the taro plant as long as you cook them, because if you don't cook them, then the leaves leave a burning sensation in your mouth for a long time, and then you eat the tuber corn thing, then there are calcium oxalate, I think that's chemical crystals, in the tuber that are really sharp and they cut your mouth up or something. It's not fun. But cooking the plant decreases the amount of both of those toxins or whatever. So Mr. Osorio, whatever his name was, the guy who was singing those songs, he said that taro was, since it's such a big part of Hawaiian diet, then it's it has a pretty big part in their mythology. They think it's part of their ancestry, so it's pretty sacred and really important. He told us about sometime in the past that the University of Hawaii tried to make a new strain of taro through genetic modification, and they patented it. I hope you can understand that. Oh, look, there's a tractor again. Patented. They did that thing where you own the plant now because they are legally. They took legal ownership of it. Yeah, that's what it is. So the the Native Hawaiians didn't like that because it was part of their ancestry, and that's just not good. That these people that aren't even Hawaiians, that are part of the University of Hawaii, own a really sacred part of the Hawaiian identity. So, and I think he said the university tried to give the patent to the native Hawaiians somehow, and then something happened, and now the University of Hawaii doesn't own the patents anymore. I don't remember exactly. I think that's all that happened at the University of Hawaii, and then after that, it rained a little bit, and then we went back to the hotel. We had lunch at some Wolfgang Puck restaurant or something. I had fish and chips. It was pretty good. And then after lunch, we went to Manoa Falls, which is a pretty significant distance north of here in the mountains. It's we walked up a hiking trail for about 20 minutes to get to a waterfall that was about 50 feet high, I think. And then after the waterfall, there was another trail that went up to a bigger or a higher peak in the mountains. We tried to go on that trail, but after hiking for about 30 minutes, we passed by some people that were coming down, and they said we were halfway up. By that time, it was like an hour before sunset, so there's no way we could have hiked up and gotten back down before it was too dark to see. So we just started heading back then. Manoa Falls is amazing because it's really mountainous, but also there are a bunch of huge trees and there's green plants everywhere, and it just looks amazing. It looked to me like it was, if you could put the Appalachian Mountains in a rainforest, that's what it would look like. It's just really hilly and rocky. Then there are a bunch of tropical plants everywhere, especially bamboo. We're walking through a bunch of like bamboo forest kind of things on the upper trail, and also it was really muddy, but it was still really nice. And if you're ever on Oahu and you like being in the wilderness, I highly recommend going there. Manoa Falls, yeah, that's what it's called, I think. It should be called that. And after that, we went back to the hotel, and then we ate dinner at some Jimmy Buffett's thing, but not the restaurant, but not the Cheeseburger Paradise thing that I did the burger challenge at. And then we got ice cream at Cold Stone. I got some coconut ice cream with pineapple in it. It was really good. It's really sweet, but the pineapple kind of clashed with the coconut. It was too tart. It was still pretty good, I guess. And then after that, I went back to the hotel, I think. No, I bought some stuff at an ABC store, and then I went back to the hotel. And now I'm at the hotel, and that's all I've done since then, so I don't want YouTube to take this video down for being too long. So I'll stop it within the next 10 seconds. Okay, yeah. I guess see you tomorrow. So long.